All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says construction of strategic roads, bridges and tunnels in border areas to be expedited. India and US have reaffirmed their commitment to work towards ensuring free, open and peaceful Indo-Pacific region. India has one of the lowest COVID-19 cases per million in the world. Recovery rate improves to over 61%. CBSE reduces syllabus for classes 9th to 12th by 30% for academic year 2020-21. And US considering to ban Chinese apps including TikTok. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the construction of strategic roads, bridges and tunnels in the border areas will be expedited. Mr. Singh said Border Roads Organisation BRO is working vigorously towards this goal. The minister reviewed the ongoing infrastructure projects of BRO at a high-level meeting in New Delhi yesterday. During the meeting, the state of forward connectivity to border areas was reviewed and the consistent need of boosting the ongoing projects and to expedite the construction of strategic roads, bridges and tunnels in the border areas was discussed. The BRO has worked incessantly even during the restrictions imposed due to COVID-19 without affecting the progress of various projects. Despite unprecedented snowfall breaking 60-year-old record, all strategic passes and roads were cleared this year for traffic about 1 month before their average yearly opening dates. While lauding the BRO for its achievements, Mr. Singh exhorted it to continue its work to achieve even greater laurels. The BRO has also inducted latest equipment and machines and has introduced modern construction methods after successful trials to expedite works on surfacing with cementations base, use of plastics, geotextiles and various techniques for slope stabilization. Trials have also been carried out successfully for indigenously produced modular bridges in collaboration. This will revolutionize the bridge laying capabilities in forward areas. India and the US have reaffirmed their commitment to work towards ensuring a free, open, inclusive, peaceful and prosperous Indo-Pacific. They also agreed on the need to deepen cooperation in the United Nations, especially during India's membership of the United Nations Security Council. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla and the US Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs, David Hale, exchanged views on a number of regional and global issues of shared interests during the virtual Foreign Office consultations between the two countries yesterday. Mr. Shringla and Mr. Hale discussed ways to further enhance mutually beneficial trade and people-to-people ties, including through visa facilitation for students and professionals. Sources said the issue of F1 visa students attending online-only classes in the US was raised during the meeting. They said the US side took note and said they will keep the best interests of the students in mind and try and mitigate impact. Sources also said that detailed implementation guidelines are yet to come out.
Indian Air Force is on high alert along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh region. High altitude and difficult terrain of the northern frontiers of the Himalayas need special skills and aircraft to meet the challenges. Indian Air Force with new acquisitions is more confident in the region. More from our correspondent.
Ever since the standoff between India and China in the eastern Ladakh along the line of actual control, Indian Air Force has ascertained its position in the region. Indian Air Force has advantage of experience on its side, not just to defend but even to attack if the need arises. Indian Air Force is effectively discharging dual roles. Cargo aircrafts like Globemaster, Hercules are doing transportations while Sukhoi's MiGs are patrolling LAC. The Air Force is using modern drones to keep an eye on enemy movement. Indian Air Force has strengthened its chopper strength with the heaviest Chinooks and the swift and technologically modern Apaches in the high-altitude battlefields, apart from the Cheetahs and Chitaks. A Chinook pilot says,
the sheer size of this machine, it's an immense machine which has proven itself worldwide. So yes, this gives us immense avionics capability, which allows us to fly and take much more load and troops. We have been flying by day and night and ensuring that we are totally capable as well as prepared to land at any place, at any point of time.
Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
U.S. strategist and military historian Dr. Edward Ladakh has said that Chinese policy of expansionism is turning its neighbors into enemies. In an interview to DD News, Mr. Ladakh said India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi ramped up infrastructure in Ladakh and other areas along the LAC. He said this infrastructure development, including the strategic location of Daulat Beg Oldi Air Base, has unnerved China.
The expansionist pressure, in general, is not a tactical thing. It has a tactical expression. As we all know, one part of the story is that finally India is providing infrastructure in those areas and quite changing the balance of power.
Lauding India's border infrastructure development push, Mr. Ladakh asserted that New Delhi has several allies including USA, Japan, Israel, among others, whereas Beijing is supported only by Pakistan. He said that China's conduct have repelled its former allies.
Mr. Modi is focused on infrastructure, but his focus on infrastructure is very real. India has allies. China does not have allies. Only Cambodia, because the Cambodians are squeezed by the Vietnamese. And the other ally it has is Pakistan. Since we had Pakistan as an ally, I can tell you that having an ally like Pakistan is borderline.
India has one of the lowest COVID-19 cases per million in the world. Union Health Ministry said, according to World Health Organization Situation Report, India's cases per million population is around 505, while the global average is at over 1,453. Chile has witnessed around 15,459 cases of COVID-19 per million population, while the US over 8,500, Brazil over 7,419, and Spain witnessed over 5,358 cases per million population. The WHO situation report also shows that India has one of the lowest deaths per million population. India's cases of deaths per million population is around 14, while the global average is more than its 4 times at 68. During the last 24 hours, a total of 15,515 COVID-19 patients have been cured, taking the cumulative figure of recovered cases to more than 4,39,000. As on date, there are over 1,80,000 recovered cases, more than the active COVID-19 cases. The recovery rate among COVID-19 patients has increased to 61.13%. Presently, there are over 2,59,000 active cases and all are under medical supervision. The ministry said more than 2 lakh tests are being conducted per day. During the last 24 hours, more than 2,41,000 samples have been tested. With this, the nationwide samples tested for COVID-19 reached to over 1 crore 2 lakh. Infosys Chairman Nandan Nilekani has said that India stands to benefit from the current global situation as more countries look for alternatives to China. He said the COVID-19 crisis will create new opportunities for the Indian IT services industry as clients look at consolidation and reduce the number of suppliers. Mr. Nilekani was speaking at the company's internal platform, InfiTV.
In Jammu and Kashmir, gardens and parks across the entire Union Territory will be thrown open for general public from today. The announcement was made by the advisor to Lieutenant Governor Basir Ahmed Khan amid the gradual unlocking process across the nation. He said all visitors should strictly observe the already given protocols and medical advices related to COVID-19 from time to time. He requested the general public to wear masks, use hand sanitizers and maintain social distancing norms both inside and outside these picnic spots. He also directed the authorities to penalize those found violating the precautionary measures. A total of 2,008 new confirmed cases of coronavirus have been reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of cases has reached 1,02,831 in the national capital. Delhi government has confirmed that over 74,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 2,129 people have recovered and 50 deaths were reported in Delhi, taking the toll to 3,165. Delhi government has decided to provide free ration to public distribution system PDS card holders till November 2020. Delhi government said that distribution of food grains for July is scheduled to start in a phased manner from today. It said the government will continue to provide food grains free of cost to the national food security beneficiaries in Delhi to mitigate the economic hardship caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now it will be providing PDS ration to NFS beneficiaries for the next 5 months from July to November free of cost. In Delhi, more than 17.54 lakh households get ration under public distribution system covered by the National Food Security Act.
In Gujarat, the total cases of COVID-19 has reached up to 37,636 with 778 new cases reported during the last 24 hours. 17 patients have lost their lives, taking the total deaths due to COVID-19 in the state up to 1,979. Here is a report.
Out of 778 new cases recorded, the maximum 204 cases reported from Surat, while Ahmedabad recorded 172 new cases. According to official sources, out of 8,913 active cases, conditions of 61 patients are critical and they are on ventilator. 421 patients have been discharged from the various hospitals after recovery during the last 24 hours. More than 4,25,000 tests have been carried out till date. State government has advised the doctors to use tocilizumab and remdesivir injections very judiciously. In an official release, the Commissioner of Food and Drug Control Administration, Dr. Hemant Kosia, said that the supply of both the drugs are limited and it should be prescribed according to ICMR guidelines. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
In Jharkhand, 173 new corona cases were detected during the past 24 hours, taking the total tally to 3,043. This is the biggest ever single-day spike of COVID-19 in the state. Details from our correspondent.
Drinking Water and Sanitation Minister Mithilesh Kumar Thakur and Tundi MLA Mathura Prasad Mehto of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha Party have tested COVID-19 positive and have been admitted at Corona Special Ward in Ranchi and Dhanbad respectively. Around 20 journalists in Dhanbad district have also been tested Corona positive. Chief Minister Hemant Soren, who attended a housewarming party organized at Minister Mithilesh Thakur's residence 2 days ago, have been sent to quarantine, while several senior bureaucrats and officials who attended the minister's party have been identified for COVID-19 swab tests under the contact tracing protocol. Recovery rate in the state presently has dropped to 69%. Shilpi, AIR News, Ranchi.
The West Bengal government has announced strict lockdown in containment zones of the state in view of rapid increase of COVID cases. The lockdown will start at 5 p.m. tomorrow. A report from our correspondent.
All government and private offices, all non-essential activities, public gathering, movements of transport, markets, trading and industrial activities will be closed in containment zones during lockdown. Residents of containment zones will get exemptions from attending government and private offices. The local authorities will arrange home delivery of essential items for residents staying inside the containment zones. The list of containment zones will be announced this afternoon. The local administration will decide the period of lockdown. Meanwhile, 850 fresh COVID cases and another 25 deaths were recorded in last 24 hours. Arijit Chakraborty, AIR News, Kolkata.
In Karnataka, 1,498 new COVID-19 cases were reported yesterday, taking the total cases to 26,815. 571 patients were discharged from various hospitals yesterday. More from our correspondent.
A team of officials from Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, comprising Aarti Ahuja, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and Dr. P. Ravindran, Director, Emergency Medical Response Center, met the Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa yesterday and other officials. As part of their 2-day visit to the state, the team gathered information, especially tracking contacts and creating database of comorbidity and vulnerable people across the state. The team today will visit the containment zones in the various places in the state. R. Murthy, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy has again reiterated that there is no community spread of COVID-19 in the state. He inaugurated a modern COVID-19 hospital at Gindi, Chennai last evening. Later, talking to reporters, he said the intensity of the pandemic is coming down gradually. Meanwhile, the total COVID-19 infection in Tamil Nadu is nearing 118,000 cases, with 3,616 people confirmed positive yesterday. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy has said the fever camps being held in Chennai has so far helped to identify over 10,000 COVID-19 patients who have been isolated. While responding to a query on the surge in new cases outside Chennai in the state, he remarked that the overall pandemic situation is well under control. He said the government has to take a balanced view between livelihood resources of the people and continuing the lockdown. He said there is a limit to the length of the lockdown beyond which it may not be sustainable, justifying the decision to take Chennai out of the complete lockdown. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Dr. S. Rajeshwari, Department of Anesthesiology, AIIMS has advised people to stay at homes and maintain hand hygiene.
We have seen that there is a severe shortage of ICU facilities in the most developed of countries. And in order that we do not face the same calamity in our country, it is vital that we do not stress the health system by becoming more sick and bringing more patients. And for this, I urge that you must stay at home and must maintain hand hygiene to reduce the number of patients coming into the hospital.
Participating in AIR Live phone-in program on COVID-19, senior health expert Dr. A.K. Varshne has said that people can also use multi-layer homemade cloth face masks.
सर्जिकल मास्क जनरली हम लोग रिकमेंड करते हैं जो हमारे हेल्थ पर्सनल हैं वो यूज करें क्योंकि ये उनकी अवेलेबिलिटी उतनी ज्यादा नहीं होती, परंतु अगर कोई ले सकता है तो वो ले सकते हैं, अदरवाइज जो घर में ट्रिपल लेयर कपड़ों के मास्क ही बनाए जा सकते हैं उनको इस्तेमाल किया है.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says construction of strategic roads, bridges and tunnels in border areas to be expedited. India and US reaffirmed their commitment to work towards ensuring free, open and peaceful Indo-Pacific region. India has one of the lowest COVID-19 cases per million in the world. Recovery rate improves to over 61%. CBSE reduces syllabus for classes 9 and 12 by 30% for academic year 2020-2021. And US considering to ban Chinese apps including TikTok. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE, has rationalized the syllabus up to 30% for classes 9th to 12th to make up for academic loss for 2020-21 session during COVID-19 lockdown. In a series of tweets, Human Resource Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said, considering the importance of learning achievement, it has been decided to rationalize syllabus by retaining the core concept. He said, looking at the extraordinary situation prevailing in the country and the world, CBSE was advised to revise the curriculum and reduce course load for the students of class 9th to 12th. In an exclusive interview to AIR News, Professor Anil D. Sahasrabudhe, Chairman of All India Council for Technical Education, said, online education has been very useful during the pandemic and it will continue to play a significant role when educational institutions start functioning normally.
The online education had started 7-8 years ago, and in India it also picked up in a big way during last 3 years. But most of the institutions were not adopting it, and this pandemic has made everyone to rethink and start using it. In the post-corona era, when the colleges will reopen in the full form, still online will have its own value in terms of getting the best faculties, lectures available at our doorsteps. I think that is the power of technology which will be utilized.
He also stressed on imparting skills as part of education to improve employability, which can be achieved through various technological tools.
Education is also to be coupled with a lot of skills. To engage students in all of this, some of them are required to be given only in the form of face-to-face mode. Whereas large number of skills can be imparted via a lot of tools and technologies which are already available. And MHRD and AICT had invited proposals under a platform called National Educational Alliance for Technology. And many companies have come out with artificial intelligence-based personalized learning tools. And there are more than about 50 such tools which will train students in the emerging areas. And in the process, both employability improves, but some of them themselves can create startups and create jobs.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman held a review meeting with CMDs of 23 Central Public Sector Enterprises, CPSEs, yesterday to boost expenditure in the economy. Secretaries of Ministries of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Power, Coal, Mines and Atomic Energy also attended the meeting. In 2019-2020, the capital expenditure CAPEX by the 23 CPSEs stood at 1,66,029 crores against the target of 1,64,822 crore rupees, which is 101%. Mr. Sitharaman said CPSEs have a very important role in giving a push to the growth of the economy. Union Agriculture Ministry has said that locust control operations have been carried out in more than 2.75 lakh hectare area so far since 11th of April in various states. The states are Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Haryana and Bihar. The ministry said aerial spraying capacity has been strengthened for anti-locust operations. A Bell helicopter has also been deployed in Rajasthan for use in scheduled desert area as per the need. The ministry said no significant crop losses have been reported in the states of Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Bihar and Haryana. However, some minor crop losses have been reported in some districts of Rajasthan.
The World Bank will provide $400 million to enhance support for rejuvenating the Ganga. Finance Ministry said the bank and the government have signed a loan agreement in this regard. The second National Ganga River Basin project will help stem pollution in the iconic river and strengthen the management of the river basin, which is home to more than 500 million people. The $400 million operation comprises a loan of $381 million and a proposed guarantee of up to $19 million. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has asked officials to take necessary steps to minimize the casualty and damage due to lightning in the rainy season. These include timely release of alerts and publicizing them through various mediums so that people can take necessary precautions. Here is a report.
Instructing the officials, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath insisted upon using the public address system at village panchayat level to aware the common people. He said the prior information about lightning should be publicized from every platform. Meanwhile, Cane Department of State has also issued advisory to its officials to motivate the sugarcane farmers and department employees to download the Damini Lightning Alert mobile app to protect themselves from lightning. The app displays the possibility of striking lightning at any place on the mobile well in advance. Department officers have also been directed for wide publicity of the guidelines issued to avoid celestial lightning losses. In these guidelines, sugarcane farmers are advised not to take shelter in open fields, under trees, hilly areas, rocks during celestial lightning. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The Special Task Force of Uttar Pradesh Police killed Amar Dubey, a close associate of absconding criminal Vikas Dubey, in an encounter this morning. The gun battle took place in Maudaha area of Hamirpur district. Amar Dubey was also an accused in Kanpur killing case in which 8 policemen were killed by Vikas Dubey and his gang. The mantra of self-reliant India is now showing its effect even in the villages of Madhya Pradesh. Farmers have started making equipment at the local level to reduce the cost of farming. More from our correspondent.
Farmers in Mandsaur district of the state have prepared a unique vehicle named Jugaad by using a motorcycle. This vehicle is very useful for removing weeds and transporting food grains to the market. These Jugaad vehicles are being prepared at a cost of 20 to 30,000 rupees. Farmer Dharyawat Singh said that Jugaad has reduced the cost of labor and wages by 50%.
बैल से काम कम होता है, इसमें दिन भर में हम चाहो जितना काम कर सकते हैं.
Another farmer Raju said that now we are doing technical farming.
इसमें केवल 2 आदमी चाहिए, एक चलाने वाला और कुछ ये खोर निकालने वाला बस.
Mechanic Yusuf informed that once the work is done, it can be used again as a bike. The farmers of Mandsaur district have set an example by turning disaster into research. Now there is a need to convert this research into opportunity. With Deepak Sharma from Mandsaur, Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has said America is looking at banning Chinese social media apps, including TikTok. He told a TV channel that Trump administration is certainly looking at banning these apps as they share information with the Chinese government. US lawmakers have raised national security concerns over TikTok's handling of user data. They were worried about Chinese laws requiring domestic companies to support and cooperate with intelligence work controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has announced visa restrictions for a certain group of Chinese officials under the Reciprocal Access to Tibet Act. He said Beijing has continued systematically to obstruct travel to the Tibetan Autonomous Region, TAR, and other Tibetan areas by US diplomats and other officials, journalists and tourists, while Chinese officials and other citizens enjoy far greater access to the United States. Mr. Pompeo announced visa restrictions on Chinese government and Chinese Communist Party officials involved in the formulation or execution of policies related to access for foreigners to Tibetan areas.
U.S. President Donald Trump has formally moved to withdraw the U.S. from the World Health Organization. Trump administration has notified Congress and the United Nations that the United States is formally withdrawing from the WHO, said officials. Stefan Dujarric, spokesman for the UN Secretary General, confirmed the U.S. had notified it of its withdrawal, effective as of 6 July 2021. U.S. President has been critical of WHO over its handling of coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, the number of coronavirus cases continues to surge across the United States.
And now let's take a look at the weather updates for today. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature is recorded as 26 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 36 degrees. The sky will be partly cloudy with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature is recorded as 16 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 32 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Gilgit, the sky will be mainly clear, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature is recorded as 14 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 36 degrees Celsius. The sky in Muzaffarabad will be mainly clear, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The city witnesses a minimum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature will be around 37 degrees. Chandigarh will see a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the city is recorded as 24 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 33 degrees. Dehradun will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature is recorded as 22 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected at 30 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the sky will be generally cloudy with light rain. The minimum temperature was recorded as 24 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Bengaluru experienced a minimum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be 30 degrees. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Ahmedabad will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature in the city was recorded as 27 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 34 degrees. Guwahati is likely to witness a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the city was recorded as 25 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 31 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The disengagement process at the LAC is the top news in most dailies. After Galwan Valley, troops on both sides start pulling back in Hot Springs sector is the headline in the Indian Express. Pull back on, but India won't rest till China scales down along LAC, writes the Times of India. US military stands strong with India on LAC tension, says White House reports the Tribune. COVID count 7 lakh plus, 467 die, 22,252 new cases in one day, headlines the Asian Age. 2/3 of cases added in last month, writes the Financial Express. India tops worst hit country with no community transmission, writes the Times of India. The Pioneer reports that Rajiv Gandhi Hospital has got ICMR nod for 200 plasma therapies. US says foreign students whose classes move online must leave is a headline in Hindustan Times. Immigration experts say don't panic as guidelines were certain to be challenged in court, writes the Tribune. CBSE to reduce 9 and 12 syllabi by 30% to make up for corona loss, reports the Pioneer. And finally, a report in Business Line quotes a survey as saying that Chennai's air is almost as clear as in Europe. The level of pollutants dipped to a 10-year low during lockdown.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says construction of strategic roads, bridges and tunnels in border areas to be expedited. India and the US reaffirmed their commitment to work towards ensuring free, open and peaceful Indo-Pacific region. India's COVID-19 cases per million lowest in the world. Recovery rate improves to over 61%. CBSE reduces syllabus for classes 9th to 12th by 30% for academic year 2020-21. And US considering to ban Chinese apps including TikTok. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.